Hello YouTube, my name is Argon and welcome to another video. We've all seen it on the internet, we've all been a part of it, we've all definitely read it, we've all definitely enjoyed it, but hate. Hate is everywhere on the internet and it's really rampant in Call of Duty and the Call of Duty community. Now, the reason for that is kind of twofold. There's a human aspect of it, like a humanity aspect of this, and there's also a Call of Duty community aspect of this that we as players perpetuate. And I'm going to discuss both of these because they kind of intermingle and they rely on each other and they build on each other. In a previous video I discussed how Call of Duty has evolved over the years. When Call of Duty first came out, there was a lot of just, talking trash to each other, people bagging on each other, and that was that. So the Call of Duty community was always sort of based on this, trash talking, playground jabbing kind of thing that's always been around, and it's evolved from that. So the first layer of this is the humanity aspect of it. As humans, we don't have stress in our lives that nature provides for us. For most of nature and other animals, stress is a method that they use to evade life-threatening situations. Think, for example, a deer in the forest and a mountain lion or a bear wants to attack it. That stress of knowing that it might get eaten allows it to do things it wouldn't normally be able to do. And for that, what it does is its heart rate will go up, its hormones will release adrenaline, the muscles will tense up, and it basically goes to peak performance mode. Think about it like if you're driving a car and you just, floor it and you go as fast as you possibly can, as opposed to just putting it on cruise control and cruising along at like 60 miles an hour. We as humans don't have that because we don't have life-threatening situations. For the most part, yeah, it happens. You'll see people get into arguments, fights, or worse, like carjackings and that kind of thing. These type of things, and for those reasons, you'll hear people doing superhuman feats, and that's the result of stress. But for the most of us, thank God, we don't normally run into those situations. So we feel the need to create stress for ourselves, and stress can come in the form of arguing and getting angry. It's a release. And that leads to kind of my second point, that we as a society don't have an outlet for our anger or rage. Anger is a perfectly normal feeling, and we never really get a chance to release it. Think about the movie The Purge, where everybody's stifled all year long, and for one day out of the year, they get to do anything they want, just release all that rage. That's a good hyperbole or kind of exaggerated example of what we do. You can't just get mad, which is normal. People get their patience tested and they get angry. And you can't just go hit something or cuss somebody out in public. Like, that's just not normal. So what do? For a lot of people, they go to the gym, they work out, they try boxing, they play sports. Or they'll maybe just listen to loud music and scream, or they'll write, poems. Others of us play Call of Duty, and then sometimes we'll get angry while playing Call of Duty. We've all experienced it, and we rage, and we start cussing at the game or the other players, and it's perfectly unnecessary. We don't know any of these people we're playing against. They're probably totally nice people, but for that moment, we're releasing that rage, and this is our way of doing it. So back to the Call of Duty community. That was the basis for the trash talking. A lot of it was just trash talking just to trash talk, to one-up people, but also people would rage and they'd get angry and they would talk crap to each other. And that was the way we released that rage. Now, a lot of what the appeal of raging at other people on Call of Duty was, it's anonymous. The internet was anonymous. All you were known as was your gamer tag. Nobody knows where you live. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows how old you are, if you're married, if you have kids, if you're broke, if you're rich. Nothing. All that matters is the words that you're saying, so you could say anything you want. Now, move forward, and you have more exposure. Somebody can, you can link your Twitter profile to your PlayStation profile or Xbox profile. Somebody can go look you up, and they can know way more about you than you thought they would. And that's how a lot of people can get exposed, and they'll start, become the subject of kind of torture on the internet. And that sort of thing has led us as a community to circle around these targets, and we all release that kind of rage, if you will. And it kind of ties into the humanity aspect of it, of groupthink. And if you don't know what groupthink is, it's kind of like what it sounds like, I guess. a group of people start to believe the same things because they have the similar interactions. And where previously, if you were isolated, you might think a certain way. If the group thinks another way, you will probably go along with what the group thinks. Along with that group think, and in general kind of being targeted by people, I wanted to touch base back on the anonymity of the internet. Now, this is a kind of humanity aspect of it. If I'm sitting here typing on a keyboard or I'm voicing myself over PlayStation Network, I'm not face to face with somebody. I can bash Infinity Ward all I want. I can bash Activision all I want. I can bash individual people all I want. But there's a big difference between me talking into a microphone and me being face to face with that person. If I walked into Activision, and I'm a huge hater on Activision, and I think they're a bunch of BS and all this other stuff, and I walked into their company, and I got a tour, I met some people, I'd probably start to like them. I probably wouldn't feel as bad about them, and I probably wouldn't say the things that I'd be willing to say on Twitter. I just wouldn't. It would be something where I would say, you know what, now I'm face to face with you, I see you're a real human, and I'm kind of a chicken. I don't think I can say the same things that I could say from the comfort of my home, because now you know my name, now you know my face. So as we reveal these, we kind of let down these guards we have, we become more civil, and that's a big thing of it too. And like I said, it ties into the fact that we now have more ways of interacting with each other than just lobby chat. It used to be just lobby chat, and it was random, and you could just leave the lobby and probably never see that person again. You maybe send them a message or a voice message, and that was it. You never had to talk to that person. You could block them or report them. It didn't matter, right? But now you can tweet at them, you can follow them, you can comment on their YouTube, you can find out all kinds of stuff about them, and you can, people have more social networks now on social networks as opposed to having real life friends. So they go grab their YouTube buddies or their Twitter buddies and they go attack this person. And that is kind of the overarching theme here, is that the evolution of hate in the Call of Duty community has had this kind of snowball effect where it's just gotten bigger and bigger and expanded to more areas of the world of the internet world than just in the game. And also, it's gone beyond just talking crap to each other and more about the game itself. And it's almost become tied in again to the groupthink that you're not a cool person if you like the game. That's really what it's become. And so for that reason, it becomes more appealing to interact and be involved with hate and drama than anything else. Another thing, too, about hate is that it's a good way to create a debate or to have an interaction with somebody. If you're commenting on someone's YouTube video and you say, hey, great video, what's that person going to say? They're going to say, thanks, man. Or they're not going to say anything at all. They're not going to say, you know what, I really liked what I did at this part of the video. I really think that I did this, it was a great job. It was a lot of work. People don't do that. That's not very humble, and it's just weird. So you don't do that. But if you get on and you say, hey, screw you, man, that's the dumbest video I've ever seen in my life, then somebody will come back to you and say, why? What's it to you? Like, it was great. Or somebody else will come in your defense and stick up for you. And it just has this debate. And that ties in again to the humanity aspect where we're releasing our rage. If you think the Call of Duty community is bad, you should step over into the political realm and see what kind of interactions were going on in there, because it's crazy. So that, is another thing that you have to think about. It's a debate aspect. It's your ability to have another outlet, like that same person that will go to the gym and work out. Maybe you're lazy. Maybe, honestly, working out is a lot of work. It's way easier to get into a debate with somebody and just argue, because you might win it. But yeah, I hope that I'm kind of tying all these things in together well, but you can hopefully see that it's not so simple as to say, well, it's just a bad game, so people hate it. No, it actually has nothing to do with the game, because people have hated Call of Duty pretty much every single year that it's come out. They've had something bad to say about it. Ever since COD, I think would say Modern Warfare 3. Oh, it's the same Call of Duty again. But certainly once Ghost came out, constant crap talking. Advanced Warfare, nothing but hate. And it's just been worse. Black Ops 3 had some support, but then the supply drops issue became a huge problem, and people hated on that. So, it's not necessarily the game. People in this community just like to be involved in drama. Take a look at all the channels that have grown that have nothing to do with gaming. All the drama channels, all the people just reviewing drama. It's become an actual genre now where you can have hate channels or drama channels, and that's an effect of years of evolving this hate and anger and drama in our game into something that it became all of its own. So now what? Now what do we do now that we're here? Now that we have this whole hate genre of the internet, how do we fix it? Do we need to fix it? My answer really is that we don't need to do anything. It's going to probably fix itself, to be honest with you. There will come a point where people will just kind of get sick of it, or they'll be over it, or they won't have much trust in it, and it'll start to sort of devolve, I guess you could say, or evolve even further into a more civil environment. Previously, when people would talk trash to each other, people would go back and forth constantly, and it got to a point where people were like, this is stupid, I'm not really arguing with somebody, there's no point to this. So it became a thing where people would get angry and start raging, and the other person would just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. And that kind of spurred the whole trolling scene, if you will. So you'll see more of that, and it'll evolve naturally. If you are on Reddit, you could see that is a totally different community. There is some trash talking, but for the most part, way more civil. There's no kill yourself, get cancer and die. None of stuff like that you would see elsewhere. So if Reddit grows in popularity and that community starts to spill over more into the general Call of Duty community, then you'll start to see more of an involvement of people just being nicer, being more civil with each other. So my answer, you don't really have to do anything, because forcing it it's just not going to work. So just let the community do what it needs to do, and eventually people will grow up and kind of get over it. And maybe we'll see a video where, maybe we'll see a Call of Duty where everybody loves it. So isn't that wishful thinking? So anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, my name is Argon, and I'll see you later.